Hello, today we're on the Afterburn podcast episode 4. We skipped last week because we just had a lot going on in our lives, but we're back now for episode 4. Hopefully, it'll be week to week going forward. But as always, I'm Gib, and then we
I'm
have
Alex.
and today we're going to mostly be talking about our major predictions because the major's coming up for Rock League. It's a very exciting time. I think the majors are like the highlights of the year, always along with World, so it's very exciting, and I'm excited to get into it. I think first though we could talk about who we thought were the biggest like major snubs of who didn't make it and like everyone was expecting to. I know there's one obvious one that comes to mind for everyone, but what do you guys
I
think?
wonder who said that last week. I wonder who said, surely they'll make it. There's no universe in which they won't make it. I
Did
wonder who
someone say
said that
that?
one.
Who said that?
Hmm?
Was it me?
I
I forget.
I
No,
know
no,
I
I said
predicted
that.
them making
I was
them.
confident
Uh,
in BDS. I told you guys I had complete foresight, looked into all the different
Oh
multiverses and
yeah.
whatnot,
oh yeah, yeah.
and I saw BDS winning in each different timeline. But I guess I
The
missed one.
one timeline happened where it didn't.
Yeah.
I think honestly that's the only real snub from EU.
Yeah,
Like sure you can maybe argue G1 and
or K
maybe
Dop's
by
team if you're a real OG like believer.
yeah, but like majority of people probably would say that's a snub. Maybe G1, but like, then again like they're probably on the same level as like Quadrant roughly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. BDS the only one
BDS for sure.
really.
I mean, world champs and not even making major is probably the biggest drop you could ever have. So, and then they all signed
Yeah.
2 year contract extensions. So
Did
it's
did Psycho?
That is
I don't know if
bullshit.
Psycho did, but Monkey Moon and Extra did. So
Yeah, I saw those two.
Psycho also joined later, so he might already be on like a longer contract that we don't know about.
True. Yep.
And then I think from NA, the only one that was not surprising to me was you could maybe call Furia a snub, I guess, if you really thought you were a Jorby supporter and lover and thought they were like a top 4 team in the world like he does. But
Yeah. Yeah, I
I
mean
mean,
if
you can
you're a
blame
Daz.
complexity for that one, right? They lost the complexity in Game 5 to not make it past the
or
swift stage
also
and
the
find a
squishy
regional.
fanboys, can't forget about them. The NRG snub. I guess there's also that as well. They
Yeah,
didn't
I
make the
was gonna say
major.
that.
Yeah.
Is that a snub though? They've been underperforming and not making
No, it's not a real snub.
majors for a while.
It's not a real snub if you've been following since like winter of last year, but they were at Worlds, I guess. So it's a
Mhm.
bit of a snub from their like reputations as players,
It's a
but
snub.
not
I
a
think it's
snub
the
if you
they
follow
fell
the scene.
off meme, but actually true.
Yeah, yeah. And there'll be some interesting roster rumors to talk about in a couple of weeks when they start to become more formalized and aren't just complete dates. But getting into our major predictions, we'll start with the round robins. I will say I think the teams are only getting better, especially from NA and Europe, and I do think it's they're getting more stacked kind of each year with like the level. I just think the later seeds in NA and Europe are much more closer to the higher seeds than in like previous years. I think is like the biggest difference. There's no more like weak number 5 seed. Like I don't know if you guys remember last year, but like NA was sending like Optic Gaming, which like everyone thought would be horrible, or like the Turbo Pulse Envy team and stuff. And the other years, everyone thought they'd be like bad, and they were. So I think this is the first year where it's like our number 5 seed's what G2 from NA, which is insane, and then the number 5 seed from Europe's
It's
another really
moist.
good team, which is nuts.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a couple teams I think don't really have a shot at winning. Uh, like I don't think Quadrant has a shot at winning. I don't think Moist has a shot at winning, and I don't really think Version One
Ooh, there's a hot
or
take. I
actually
think
Hot
they have a
takes.
shot.
I don't think Version One has a shot either. To be
No
honest,
beast
unless
mode
Beast.
love. The
Dude,
best player
I
in the
love Beast
world.
Mode,
Number one
but
Beast Mode fan doesn't have any love for his team.
I love Beast Mode, but I don't think he can like I don't think he can beat every single team in a row
That's
like
fair. That's fair.
that consistently. Like it's got to come to some like and common tournament also have to be playing pretty well to like for them to do well at the major.
They do always
But
start hot, so maybe
yeah, but they never finish hot, right? So
they'll
I don't
make
know. I
top
don't
eight
see
and then
them.
fizzle out.
I personally don't have them making top 8, and I kind of hope they don't, so that they make a roster change so Beast Mode gets more support. But
I'm
we'll
with
see.
you there. I have them making top eight in my bracket, but I
You
do
have them
hope they make a
3-1, Gib.
roster change and don't. I do have them 3-1.
I have them 2-3. Blink has them 1-3. Wait, 1-3?
Yeah,
Losing
Yeah,
well
to game
Blake has
they
no
get
5?
faith.
unlucky. They get unlucky. So in my bracket, they run into Quadrant, they beat them, and then they lose to Gen G, which is like fair. And then they lose to G2, which is like fair, and then they lose to SSG, which is also
Fair.
fair, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, I could also see SSG not doing well at the major because like they haven't like got online to be honest.
And
Except for like a
Arsenal's
few
mental
times.
has been questionable at best.
But then again, like he is a LAN player, so I don't know. This team could be like nuts at LAN. I could see them.
LJ
Like,
is a big question mark. We've never really seen him at a
Maybe
LAN.
he think about who to
Yeah.
kick during a major.
Yeah,
Too
maybe
soon?
Space Station Gaming will have a repeat at Worlds, and it'll come out that one of their players is
Yeah.
getting kicked. Arsenal will find out at the major he's getting kicked. It'll go full circle with that
Oh,
roster
no.
and team.
the revenge arc.
Yeah, the full revenge arc. So I guess first thing we talk about is what does everyone have as their top eights? Any like shocking upsets or any teams you think that people expect you to have in your top eight that you don't?
I think
Let's-
for now, let's read our top 8s.
Yeah, we can read our
I'll-
top eights.
Why don't we go through mine first? So like,
Yeah.
the top 2 seeds too. I have Carmine Corp Carmine
Yep.
Corp and Team Liquid being the top 2 seeds. I have them beating Gen G and Oxygen in that third round.
Yeah.
I think Oxygen's gonna do very well, but like they're just like also Team Liquid's gonna do very well at the major. Because
think
like
so,
last
too.
fall, like Joria's was playing insane in the Swiss stage, and I think he's gonna do that again. I think he's looking really good lately.
He's a better team, I think, around him this year too.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I just think those two teams, like Team Liquid, Carmine Corp, are gonna play really well. I think they're major. I think they're LAN teams. At least Team Liquid, likely. And yeah, so my top 8 though is Carmine Corp versus Faze Clan, Gen G versus G2, Team Liquid versus Moist, and then Oxygen versus Space Station Gaming. So I have 1, 2, 3. I have like 5 EU teams, I think, or no.
No faith in any of the minor regions at all.
Wow, I cannot believe it.
Just
No
snubbing.
Falcons.
Only
No
four.
Falcons. No KCP.
No.
Oh, you have more.
You have them close. You have KCP and Falcons one game away in the last round of making it. They're close.
I think the club.
Or sorry,
The
no,
club
that was me.
could make top 8. Yeah. Falcons. I don't think they're making top 8. They could. I don't know, but I don't know. I don't think they're on the uptrend. And then Pioneers. I think they're gonna do a little bit worse this year than last year. I hope they don't because I like that team, but it's just like competition keeps getting tougher.
Yeah.
I know Lost on the club is like an insane player. I think he's gonna do really well at the major again. But top 8 might be a little bit out of reach. I think it's very possible though. Like it could definitely happen.
I think your only real snub in your bracket is having V1 go 1-3 in Swiss. I don't think many people would have that. I think that's the one snub you have, or the one maybe
This is the
hot
biggest
take.
V1 fan too. I cannot believe
Yeah,
it.
the biggest
That is
Beast
a
Mode
hot
fan,
take.
but he
I'm
really
a
wants
Beast
a
Mode
team to
fan.
make a roster change. He really wants Beast Mode to be on a championship team, not a
Dude,
top
he's
4,
like-
top
you
8
have like an
perennial
energy
team.
vibe. It's like I hate the team, so they will do better.
It's like the same
I hope
vibe with
they do have
energy.
bad results, so they'll make a roster change.
It's fair though that they're like a perennial
is
like
fair.
top 4 peak team, but nothing better.
Yeah, I just think Beast Mode's insane. Like I think he's the best player in NA. Maybe First Killer can like match him. But I just don't think Calm and Torment have what it takes to win championships with Beast Mode. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
Beast
fair.
Mode's not a perfect player either. Like he makes mistakes sometimes, and like you can tell sometimes when he's not playing his best, and maybe he tries to carry too hard. But I don't know. They're no miss to typical for like First Killer, you know, on version 1. So
Fair enough. Gibby, you actually have the same top 4 as Blink.
I do. I was gonna
Team
say
Liquid,
my
KC, Oxygen, Gen G.
the top seems to be similar. I got TL, KC going 3-0, then I got Oxygen, Gen G 3-4, and then this is where it gets a little different. I got V1, Quadrant, SSG, and G2 rounding out my top 8. So my biggest notable snubs are Moist and Faze Clan. I got them both going out. I got
Oh, wow,
Moist
you
going 1-3 and Faze going 2-3.
the
do you
Phase one
have
is actually
Force going
crazy.
one-
Dude, there's always a team that fails. It's gonna be FaZe Clan this year. That's my guess. I want
No
them to
way.
topple on land. And
Okay.
then I guess Moist is a little bit of a hot take, but they've definitely looked a lot worse with like the roster change compared to last year, so it is what it is. I think the teams I have them losing to, the 1-3, I guess makes sense with how it's done in my bracket. Like I had them losing to G2 in round 4, so
I think Moist losing the Team Secret's kind of crazy. It's possible, but kind of crazy. And then I think FaZe Clan losing the Quadrant is absolutely insane. 'Cause
that's my
the
hottest
winning
one. It's my hottest
That,
one.
that like Quadrant would never in a million years be FaZe Clan, man.
No,
Unless,
watch it.
Oh,
X
You sure?
Exo's on Quadrant, right? Or Ixo?
Ixo.
Nuts.
Ixo,
Best
yeah, okay,
player
Ixo
EU.
and
think so.
Really? I
Joyous.
mean, he's good, like really good, but like
He's
I
a
don't know, I think
land
Cash
player.
is the
Just wait.
better.
Heard it here first. He's a land player.
But Faze Clan, like the type of playstyle Quadrant has, is the exact playstyle that like Faze Clan destroys. I feel like, you know.
Yeah.
So I feel like Faze Clan will definitely. I don't know. That is a hot take. It'll be interesting if that happens, but that is the one I probably disagree with the most. Well, what's your top?
got
Oh, yeah, so the
Insom.
difference is version 1 Quadrant. Anyways.
Insom's the NA Hopium bracket is what I
It's
see
not
here.
hopium. It's
I
gonna
see it's the
happen.
NA Hopium bracket. You could go through it. It's like you got NA as 1, 2, 3 in your
Yeah,
in your
and
Swiss stage.
yeah,
Just
I'm
say
Gen
it.
G, Faze, both 3-0. They're gonna do very well. G2, KC, Team Liquid, SG, Moist, and Falcons. I have Falcons as they're gonna magically come top 8. If you look at who they face, they would beat SG, lose against KC, beat V1, lose against Team Liquid, and then just squeak it by Quadrant. So
Insom's hottest take is having oxygen out. That's clear. That's
That is a hot
that's his
take.
hottest. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
I believe in the NA and the NA teams. Okay.
Yeah, clearly.
Oh,
You don't
I
believe in
do
oxygen.
yeah.
You don't think
this
Joru is going to
completely.
show up.
That is
Mm,
wild, not having oxygen.
It's not that
But I mean,
wild.
they haven't looked great the last like 2 regionals, but I think they'll.
Okay, I suppose it is a hot take. I think they will actually choke at the major.
That's fair.
But
At least
I
one
like
thing
having
does.
I like seeing 3 NA teams as my top 3. I think that's perfectly sensible.
I did, but I did.
We'll
I like.
see
I
how
like
it
doing the
plays out.
same.
Do we think NA is going to be worse or better this year for international competition than last year?
I think worse, to be honest. At least in fall.
At least
could
coming
see
out of
them-
the gate.
Yeah.
I mean, last year
I
we were
mean-
good for like winter and kind of spring, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Our worlds
Yeah,
was
spring it was even.
bad. Our fall
Fall
was
we got like
bad.
destroyed. Winter we destroyed EU, and then
We had
well
a
here's
good.
the thing, right? So Gen G, like they are the #1 team in NA, and they're also not like a team to be easily destroyed by EU teams because they have 2/3.
They're 2/3
EU
EU.
players.
That's the clay.
Like, they
You got
know
to
how EU
import. You got
plays.
to import. That's the key.
Yeah.
But
Not gonna be
Abjack's
like
never been a
NRG.
land player. That's my only worry about Gen G. Is Abjack's had horrible land results. I'm hoping that changes at this one, but in his
I think it changes
last
with
year
this
was
team.
horrible land results.
It was his first year on land though, so
Yeah.
like maybe he got over it. You
And he
know?
had a lot of
Well,
personal kind of life issues.
Yeah. He had personal
So-
issues, and I think he
Yeah.
didn't really have good results in general. And now suddenly I think this is his year.
I
So,
believe in him. Now that he's in NA, he's a
no,
land
I
player.
believe in him. I have him as #1 NA team.
I mean, you have him winning the whole thing, right? So you truly
you?
believe in him.
Quite
Oh wow, you do.
You truly believe in him that much.
I
That'd
want
be-
to see NA win, and I think
I do.
That's
too,
why we're
but-
calling you the
true,
NA
yeah.
Hopium bracket. That's why we're calling you
it's
the
not
NA
NA.
Hopium
Well,
program.
okay. They have
I
2
just,
EU players. How could they possibly lose?
Because they have one NA player.
Yeah, they've won NA player.
I don't know. NA does not look good this.
Call it
fall.
right now. Chronic's gonna look like Atomic did in the World's Finals and just be a complete ghost of a player, shell of a player that can't even aerial. And
No,
just
I actually think Chronic will do well. Maybe not in this first like couple series or in the Swiss. If they make it out of Swiss, I think he'll do well.
I think he'll be
because
fine. I think
he's
he'll
got
be
a good
fine.
environment too. Like Appjack and Noli, like
Yeah.
I think they'll be
No, I think he'll do fine. Just,
teammates to be around.
I'll never forget. Like I've never seen Atomic play worse than he did that World's Finals in G2. I'm still not over it. I was so sad. He was so bad. Like he was so
Yeah.
bad.
That was rough.
YouTube fans around the world just crying. Even NA fans. I saw that. And I was like, "Come on, man! Even I could hit that."
Well,
I
we
have
got like
NA?
what? We got 4-0 or blasted twice by EU in finals, fall major, and also at the Worlds. So that's
Most
kind
boring
of hard.
grand finals I've ever seen.
Nice.
That we weren't even in the spring finals, right? So
Yeah.
there's that.
Who else did you have making your top 4? And so you have Faze Clan making top 4. See, that's a respectable take. I think. they
Yeah,
can
we
make
can talk about top 4 now. Getting into the quarterfinals, semifinals, grand finals, single elim playoff bracket here, and I could go
Okay,
first.
I guess I'll go.
I can go first. I can go first. I have TL G2 in my first quarterfinal. I have TL winning that because I don't know, G2 just they lost all my faith at Worlds. and I think TL is going to be a really good LAN team. And then I have Gen G versus V1, and I think if anyone's watched NA, Gen G's winning this, no doubt in my mind. Hands down, they're just the best team from NA when it comes to like clutch and playoffs as well. Then I have on the other side, it's kind of a bit of an EU bracket. I got Carmine Corp playing Quadrant, which I have KC winning, best team from Europe. And then I got Oxygen playing SSG, and then I have Oxygen winning that one 4-3. And that runs out kind of my quarterfinal matches. And then in the finals, I got TL versus KC, so full EU grand final. And then I'm going to kind of give a bit of an upset. I think TL is going to take this one at LAN, just kind of with the youth of their roster and like how kind of creative they are. I think they're just going to like show up and really take it in the grand final.
Yeah, Team Liquid, they're looking good. And I think when you have like really mechanical players, when they feel it on LAN and they play well together as a team, like we saw glimpses of that at London Major.
Yep.
They can look very scary. That's why Moist looked very scary last year, is because they all look very mechanical. And then when they piece it all together, like they look unstoppable, right? I think Team Liquid's gonna have a similar run at this major that Moist did at like London, for example.
Yeah, I think TL's kind of like the Moist of last year. I think they're going to show that this year. They're going to be like the young mechanical squad that's just going to go out there and just be really super fun to watch and just kind of like do crazy plays on LAN. And some of their players really start to like shine and pop off.
How about you and some?
You guys have the same grand finals of Team Liquid and Carmine Corp. Okay, I'll explain my quarterfinals first. So I have Gen G beating Falcons. I think Abjack is gonna destroy Khaled.
Abjack or Khaled. That'd be
Yep,
spicy.
it's gonna be a classic match. So I lost all my faith in G2 as well. So I have going 1-4 against Team Liquid. I think they're gonna make the playoffs, looking very comfortable, and they're gonna get absolutely destroyed by 3 mechanical prodigies. Next, I have Faze Clan with a 4-3 over Moist. It's gonna be a thriller game 7, and then KC will beat SSG 4-2, and SSG will consider making a roster change. And Mental will be with the series.
They're going to make it at the event. Arsenal will find out at the event. As soon as that match ends, he'll find out.
Right. They're going to lose game 2. Arsenal's going to overhear his teammates saying, so we're going to tell him we're going to kick him. And that's it. They lost the series right there. So those are my quarterfinals.
Then your semifinals?
Semifinals, let's see. I have Gen G beating Team Liquid, but now seeing your brackets, I might...
You can't switch, no! You can't switch! You can't switch now!
Gen G will actually win it out. They're going to beat
You have a 4-1. That's crazy.
4-1 is like a spicy take.
Yeah.
You think they're going to kill them?
If Team Liquid...
this is NA's chance to shine. We have 2 EU players on an NA team. This is our time. I also have KC going 4-2 against Faze. I think Faze is going to get the 4th killer meme. Like, they're going to make it really far and then just get 4th.
4th again. Another solid year of 4ths for first killer.
And then KC will lose in Game 7 to Gen G. And there we go. We got NA winning the major.
And then after the Faze Clan Carmine Corp, there's going to be memes of first killer calling up Daniel on SSG that he's got to get him on his team or something.
That'd be wild.
Calling up Beast Mode on V1. We got to get you on Faze Clan's team.
You know what's crazy though? Like I watched them play yesterday in the bubble tournament, or not the bubble, and
Musty Madness.
Yeah, they looked ridiculous. Like they were just destroying.
Missed with the insane double tap off the wall.
Yeah. But even like Sipical was like getting really good shots on net, and like the passing plays between them are just insane. I think that's why I think like Faze not making top 8 is like wild. Especially since I don't think they won the first regional or second regional.
Yeah, they won one of them.
They always win
they won the first. They won the first, yeah. But like, it's been a while since they tasted a win, so I think they'll be hungry and they won't be like overconfident from like since they haven't won anything since like the first regional. Maybe actually they just won the Musty Madness, so maybe they'll be a little bit too high.
Who did NRG be in the Musty Madness that people were freaking out about?
SSG.
Okay.
I think they're the new fourth station gaming.
Fourth station, 8th station gaming. 8th station gaming.
Yeah, it's
SSG is the new like hyped NA team that will just never meet the expectations that was set for them at the start for how they looked or how they should look on paper.
They could change that at major though. Like it's weird because I think that team has such like the same almost
High
the same amount of
ceiling.
talent. Yeah,
Yeah.
almost the same amount of talent like individually on the players as like Team Liquid, right?
Yeah.
They just haven't been able to like connect their play styles or
They just don't
their
like.
mechanics
I don't know
together.
if it's a time thing, but they're just not meshing the same way other teams do, like chemistry wise. I
Yeah,
don't know
I
what
think
it
they go
is,
for too many
but
air dribble bumps or air dribbles. That's my guess is they just go for way too many air dribbles and they don't
yeah.
like follow up each other or pass enough. So
And the key thing to figure out is like why they're doing that. Is it because of the specific player's mindset? Is like, who knows? That could be maybe Daniel's issues. Maybe he's got all the mechanical things in the world, but he's just not a guy who can have like creative team plays in his lineup or in his skill set, which could be
yeah,
a huge issue in terms of like international results.
it's
I don't
possible.
think it's a coaching issue either. I'm not
Could
sure
be a
what it
coaching
is.
issue. I don't know. Chrome's been around
Maybe it's
forever.
possible, but
Chrome's always been
I
known to
mean,
be big
Chrome
on
is a
bumps.
successful coach though, so
Yeah, I don't think it's a coaching
I
issue.
don't
I
really
think
question
if
it either.
anything, it's probably more of like a Daniel and LJ got brought up too much through like the twos meta, so they don't know how to pass at all and never done it, and they're just like so hardwired from their ranked days that they just don't understand the concept of passing as like versus just solo playing every ball that they can.
I think that's the most likely case. Yeah. So
Even
from my top eight, I guess we didn't really
yeah,
go
we can
through.
go through yours too.
We know my grand finals because it's the same as Gibbs.
Yeah,
Or Gibb, sorry. And then so the quarterfinals, I have Carmi versus Face Clan. I have Face Clan not doing well. They get over excited from the Swiss for making it, and Carmi just like kind of rules them. I think it's also because like Vatira's on that team, and like Face Clan has never been able to beat Vatira.
yeah.
Um, so I mean, actually, maybe I don't know. I don't think Carmine is as hot as like Moist was, the original Moist squad, as last year. But at the same time, like they are the top team from Europe, so I think FaZe Clan will struggle. Um, I have Genji versus G2 in the second match in the upper quarterfinal. I think Genji beats G2 4-2.
Yeah.
Not much to say there. I don't know. I don't think G2's looking that great lately, to be
Yeah,
honest.
if you watch any of the NA regionals, if Genji's facing any North American team, they're probably going to beat them. That's just what's probably going to happen.
Yeah, really. It's only if like first killer or beast mode's popping off that Genji loses.
And plus the G2 choke factor.
Yeah, and like Atomic, I don't know. Atomic hasn't looked great. I think he's lost like that individual scariness. Like
he's
G2's
also
great
known
at
now to
passing,
choke in like high pressure land situations. So yeah,
Yeah.
G2's a weird team.
It is. I don't think it's likely at all that they'll win the major, but who knows. Then I have Team Liquid versus Moist in the bottom two quarterfinals. Team Liquid 4-1 over Moist. I think Moist has like the same issues G2. They look kind of like off. They don't look threatening, to be honest. And then I have Oxygen versus Space Station. Oxygen beats Space Station 4-2. So I have 3 EU teams in the semifinals and 1 NA team, because I think NA looks bad this major or this full split, to be honest. And then so in the top I have Carmen versus Genji. Carmen beats them 4-2. And then Team Liquid beats Oxygen 4-3. Actually, I had Carmen winning 4-2. I don't know if I want that. Why did I put
Changing your mind
4-3? Change to the 4-3?
I have Carmen winning, I guess. But like I don't know. I think Team Liquid could win too.
Do you think Genji would beat TL or Oxygen if they're in the other semifinal?
No.
No?
No,
you have them as a solid fourth?
I have a solid fourth. I think Team Liquid, Oxygen, and Carmine are the 3 best teams right now in the world. Well, maybe they can beat Oxygen if Oxygen's not playing well.
Yeah.
I think they lose. I think Team Liquid and Carmine are the 2 best teams in the world right now. Until Justin gets on a better team.
Yeah, I think Justin on another team is a sleeper for like that team could become the best in the world easily.
Yeah.
I still think he's like a top 3 player in the world. He just needs a better environment and a better team.
More like top 30.
No, I think he's top 3.
I
just think he's been gated,
he's top
man.
5.
He's been
He would
gated.
be better than all of these players who've actually made the major.
Yes. Yes, he is.
No,
He's just
that's a
super
hot take.
gated. Yeah, it might be a hot take, but
No, his
it's
mental is
my
way too
take.
boom.
No.
There's no way.
That dude is crazy.
He's still got it. He's top 10 NA for sure, at least, in my opinion, at the very least.
Okay, top 10 NA makes more sense. Top 3 in the world is stretching.
Oh, man, I'm telling you. You'll see it.
Maybe
You'll
top-
see it when
actually
he gets on
top 10 in the
Furia.
world, in my opinion.
You'll see it when he gets on Furia. Him and Jan together, it'll be unstoppable.
That'd be cool. He's got
I
so
think
much
that would
ice
actually be
too.
interesting. Yeah. That's true. He is one of the iciest players there are.
Yeah. Other than like Rise.
And Turbo Pulsa. Turbo Pulsa had ice in his veins when he was in his prime.
Yeah. Okay. On to the next topic, or
Yeah, I think
We
that's
got
pretty
that
much it
right.
for the majors, unless anyone has any other things they want to discuss.
No,
No?
I think we're good. I think I'm very confident in my picks of Genji and FaZe Clan being the 2 out of the 4 NA teams in the semifinals.
Yeah, so
I
our next up.
I have a lot of
Yeah.
hope.
I
I
was
will
just
say
saying.
though, if
Yeah, you go.
I
Sorry,
will
you go.
say if I will say if NA has 2 teams making it far, it will be FaZe Clan and Genji. So
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Although my bracket doesn't say it, I agree with it too. It's just.
You just needed a hot take.
Yeah, I needed a hot. Sometimes you
Interesting.
just
We
need a
all
hot
have some
take.
hot takes.
Sometimes you just need a hot take.
And it might play out. We'll see.
Yeah, I'll look like a genius if FaZe Clan don't make top 8. I'm just saying. But
I
yeah,
don't think that's
so
gonna happen.
our next topic's on a bit of an interesting one. If people pay attention at all to Fortnite, it's much more popular than Rocket League, so many people probably do. But they recently added the Octane in their patch towards their Battle Royale gameplay. And I think it's definitely an interesting topic to think about because, at least personally, I think I have a different take on it than a lot of people would within the Rocket League scene and just general gaming scene as well. But you guys can go first, maybe, because maybe your takes are more common. But
I think it's cool. I don't know how much it will be used, but it seems like it was well received. Like you could
well,
actually
it'll be used a
aerial.
lot in Fortnite for sure. But
You have like the same mechanics as like Rocket League mechanics with your double jump, your aerial, your flips.
my
I don't think there's
understanding is
arrow.
it's the same, but it doesn't have directional arrow. That's my understanding.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll be added later, but as of right now, it has everything but directional arrow.
Wait, does it have normal arrow?
I think it's normal arrow.
Yeah, it's got
Oh,
no more
interesting.
aerial. Just not what. I mean, I think it's cool. It makes me question the priorities of Epic Games and Psyonix a little bit. But okay, Blink, your turn.
I think they need to announce if they're working on UE5 or not, or else they're gonna keep getting memed and like nobody's gonna like have hope in Rocket League if they
yeah,
they don't tell their fan base if they're working on UE5 because they're just gonna keep seeing stuff like this and like UE5, and then it's gonna be Fortnite again, and then they're gonna be sad and mad.
yeah.
Like, at least tell us if you're working on it.
To me, trying to look at this from like a deeper level of understanding, I think, at least for my opinion, it shows that, in my opinion, Epic Games more bought Rocket League not to help Psyonix with its own game, but they bought Rocket League to get it into like their own gaming market, like on the Epic store instead of the Steam store, because they're always trying to like drive more people away from Steam. That's one of their main goals. And then B, also I think they wanted to own the like IP. Is that the right wording? I don't know. But they wanted to own the IP on Rocket League, and they wanted to add Rocket League into their game, but didn't give a single shit about putting any of their resources towards Rocket League. Is kind of what this is signaling to me, because like they've owned Psyonix now for like it's been a couple of years, right? Since they bought them, and I don't like
2020.
prize pool in Rocket League hasn't gone up. It doesn't seem like they've gotten any additional funding or any additional staffing or anything towards like their own game. And it just seems like everything that Epic wanted out of Rocket League was more purely based for their own game within Fortnite than actually helping out like Rocket League, the game Psyonix made. That's just kind of like my deeper understanding of what all this looks like. And also, I think another thing that isn't talked about enough is like Fortnite's on UE5, right? To my understanding, they like
Yep.
recoded their whole game in a
Like
year
the
and
only
made it to
it's
UE5.
the only game on UE5 right now, I think.
So they implemented Rocket League as a product, right, on UE5, which I mean you'd think would help Psyonix because the base gameplay must be there on UE5 because the code's there now within Fortnite, but they didn't get directional arrow to work. So I don't know what's going on there, but like another thought I had is like, well, why don't they have directional arrows? Is there like an issue within UE5 or something? With like maybe it's harder to code it in and they couldn't like figure
Maybe
it
it's
out,
just
or
such an edge case, right? Because
yeah, to me
only
it's just
some
like
percentage of players can even use that in Rocket League, and then you're trying to implement that in Fortnite, where people may not even play Rocket League. It's
uh,
just such an edge
I don't know, it's just an
case.
idea to me. It's like why add everything but directional arrow? It just seems a little weird. I don't know why you wouldn't just try to
I
get
see it
everything
as
in there.
from a software perspective.
Yeah,
It's like the additional benefit to try to get all of that to work doesn't really make as much sense as like getting jumping and boosting to work. You know,
it'd be cool though to get more spins in
it would be cool.
Fortnite. Imagine the 360 directional arrow will jump out, YY, quick scope, trick shots that could occur. But yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
don't
kind
think
of like
that's the
my
real issue. But I do agree with your take that it's actually interesting that Psyonix has really gotten no resources,
to my
no
knowledge.
additional funding.
Maybe they
I mean,
have, but it's never
they're
been
in the
public,
soft
right?
codes too,
But
right? Like,
to me, when you actually look at like the actions taken from a public perspective, it doesn't look like Epic wanted anything to do with the game, like Rocket League, other than just own its IP for their own personal benefit of Fortnite. But I'd love to see that they're giving help to Sounders. That'd be great to hear. It just doesn't seem like it at all. Because like, where is UE5 for Rocket League? It's been rumored, and you had Epic Games who made all of Fortnite go to UE5 in 1 year, and now for Rocket League, which is a much smaller game, it's like taking 5+ years, and they won't even like announce it. It's just weird.
Yeah, I don't think they're giving any support in terms of dev support.
Yeah.
Like actually hiring more devs to work on upgrading to UE5. I don't think Epic Games is doing that. I think the main reason they bought Rocket League and Psyonix was just to take more people away from Steam. That's the main reason I think they bought them. Sadly,
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah.
I don't think they care about the esport at all. I don't think Epic Games as a whole really cares about esports. They don't really want to try to compete with Riot Games or build their own thing like Valve. Well, Valve didn't really build. I don't know how much they built the esport itself of CS:GO because it's not really run by Valve. But
They don't like try to
don't
shut
worry.
it down or anything, and they somewhat promote it with like
yeah,
the skins and stuff they put in the game, right? Because they have like Fnatic stickers and
right.
like Cloud9 stickers and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah, it seems like Epic only cares about Fortnite.
Yeah, it seems like Epic.
They'll dump millions of dollars in Fortnite tournaments and have
They, yeah,
streamers like participate.
I was gonna say they do esports, but like I don't think they've had a world championship since the first one they did, right? So clearly they're not like as big into esports as they were, and they don't think it's like kind of like a long term thing for the game, which I think is fair because like I think the idea of like any battle royale being an esport is just bad because it's not really made for esports. Like the model just doesn't work because it's such a luck based RNG format that doesn't really have like it promotes like the way you win is through camping, and camping's not fun to watch. So it's not really like
yeah.
the best esports format in terms of like excitement and
Fortnite is not a
viewership
good
goes.
esport.
So I can see why they like cooled off that. It makes sense from them. Why
Yeah,
would
the
you?
people winning a tournament might not necessarily be the best players,
Yeah, they
which
might not
is
be the
not the
most
case for
skilled or
any other
mechanical
game.
players. They're just the
Any
best
other
players who could
true
build and
esport,
be the
the
most
best team
patient.
will win. So,
Whoa, okay. Don't say that. That's not true for
okay,
everything.
the team that played the best will
Yeah,
win.
yeah.
Let's put it that way. I mean, well, there's still people who think Turbo Posa got lucky for every one of his world championships and just magically won through luck.
I think he got kind of good teammates. Like, I don't think he got
I
carried
mean, his teammates were
necessarily for
good.
his first three, but
That's how they
I
won.
think
He was the MVP on the Northern Gaming team.
was he MVP for Energy? Yeah, he was. Which
He
I
was.
didn't
I don't know
understand
if he
that.
was truly the MVP for the NRG team, but he certainly. I don't think he got carried. I think he helped them win. Like I don't think they would have won if they stayed with Fireburner. So
No, definitely not.
Yeah, no, Energy struggled before Turbo and
they didn't.
international events.
They were
Even international
wildly
events,
inconsistent.
they
Wildly
were
inconsistent.
dominant in NA, but the moment
Yeah.
they went to like a
They had the one
major
good one with
or a
Fireburner. They made
DreamHack,
Worlds Finals and then lost to Turbo
Because of Fireburner bumping
Yeah.
into Garrett.
because of Fireburner bumping into
and then
Garrett.
Turbo scores outside.
But yeah, and then our we'll go into our last topic of the day, which is Insom reacting to the cringe tweets of the RL community, or reacting to the community tweets of RL. What do you have for us this weekend? So
Okay, so the first one is by Achilles. He says, at Team Liquid, yo, your Rocket League team won a regional, by the way. And this got over 1,500 likes on Twitter. So the context of this is that Team Liquid, as you know, 3-0'd BDS in their recent
Yeah.
regional and actually won the whole thing. And there is not a word from the Team Liquid's main Twitter. They kept tweeting about Apex Legends and other games, about what other games they're going to play next. and it took multiple tweets directly adding Team Liquid for them to actually respond and say, "Oh, by the way, like retweeting."
They made a graphic in the end, right? Like a day later.
Yeah, like
A day
eventually
later,
did.
So they saw the outcry, probably had a designer do it in the day, and then released it a day late. Is probably what happened.
Yeah, their social media manager probably saw, "Oh, we did win a Rocket League regional. Oh, we got to make a tweet about that real quick."
Dude, they were too busy trying to find their jungler and top laner for the League of Legends team in the off season right now. It's their top priority, not the RL team.
to be fair, like I watched those majors and I'm like, okay, Rocket League. Like, if I was a esport organization, I wouldn't care as much about Rocket League as like those other things. But
At
I
least for
think,
the
yeah, you
regionals. I
probably-
mean, I think if TL won like a
regionals, yeah.
international major, they would have a graphic out like the second it happened. I just think
Yeah.
the orgs don't care as much about the regionals, which is fair because like if you look at viewership and stuff, the interest isn't really there for orgs to care about the regionals. Like, there's not that much hype, other than within the like hardcore community of like 5,000 people on Twitter. Like, it's really not
unless
that
you're
much
KC,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, unless you're like Carmine Core, or like someone who has like a big fan base outside of whatever game genre it's in.
Mhm.
But
But it
TL
really
doesn't
shows
have
the
that, so.
organization's priorities. They really do not care or follow Rocket League at all.
I think they care about the rugby team. It's just that they don't treat it as like a tier one esport within its org, right? Like, if they were to like list their importance of like esports, Rocket League isn't in the top 2, right? It's not in the top,
It's towards the
three.
bottom one.
which is weird though, because like I'll give like a little bit of personal, like, I do watch their League of Legends team, and like they are an org that definitely cares about content a lot, especially compared to like other orgs. Like, they do give a real big, like, they really care about the content of their players and stuff. Like, this is from a team, just to give like a League of Legends perspective. They had one of the best players, Bjergsen, not retire. He left the team, and they gave him like an 8-minute farewell video for him, like when he left the org. And then like another League of Legends team gave like a 30-second farewell video. So like Team Liquid is a team that does care about like their content a lot within their teams. It's just, I guess, whether or not they
I
care
know.
about
I'm just
the
saying they
esport
don't
in
care
general.
about Rocket League.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
clearly just,
Rocket
which is sad because it seems like if they did, they could make really good content. And a lot of, I don't think any org really cares about RL content. So it's a little
I think
sad.
that's
Well,
actually
compared to other
kind of a lie.
organizations too, like every other org will retweet or
Yeah.
tweet about their results if they did well, like almost instantly.
There's some orgs that really care about Rocket League though. Like I think SSG, like they probably treat Rocket League almost as like
There's a
top
few
2.
smaller ones, yeah.
Like these aren't like really small orgs either. Like these are like
SSG's medium size.
level.
They're
Yeah, and
medium
like
size.
V1 cares a lot about Rocket League too.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think V1's like one of the best like esport organizations out there, to be honest, in terms of like the support they give and like the love they give to their teams, especially like Rocket League.
Yeah, I think there's a weird trend in Rocket League. That's a good point, Blink, of like medium-sized orgs where Rocket League's like one of their biggest esports and the one that kind of like made the org become big, care about it a lot. Bigger orgs tend to not care at all. It's kind of like a trend.
Team Liquid also like a rough entry into Rocket League, like for the first year or two.
Oh yeah, really,
and a half.
really rough.
They got like
really rough.
they got Mouse Esports that was
Yeah.
like peaking in one tournament, and then I think they failed to like make regionals or majors
Yeah.
or something,
It
and then
is so
like
cool.
they made like roster change, and like every single roster change they made like didn't do much until they finally got like some research into like what are some upcoming prodigies, and they got lucky with like Atao and Oski both like becoming of age and wanting to join Liquid. So yeah, and even then like they didn't make their first regional, so. And winter.
And they're
thirds.
granted an exception by Psyonix as well.
Yeah, the 1 month age exception. Hey, so they must have cared about their team to lobby Psyonix for that. So that definitely didn't happen from TL not doing anything. So
Yeah, or maybe they tried to care and then they just gave up. Now they finally have a good team.
maybe they'll care now because they realize their team won something. They're
Yeah,
like,
their team
oh
is
shoot,
actually
we
good.
better
So
get on the content now.
No, they were like they saw them, they won, and like, wait, people care about qualifiers?
They're like, wait a minute, what?
regionals?
I thought it was just if it's not a land, it's not that important.
Yeah.
yeah, I just find it disappointing though because it took hundreds of tweets from many members of the community to be like at Team Liquid, and eventually after a couple hours.
I
They
will
actually
say
respond.
I will say this though, I didn't like the people in the community that put them down even after they got a graphic out a day later, because at least they tried to somewhat. TL showed that they like somewhat cared. They could just put nothing out, right, and just ignored everyone. But they tried to be like, oh, we kind of made a mistake. Here's the graphic, And then the Rocket League community went further and just said, "Oh no, shit, like bad on you. That's horrible. Like why are you so late?" And they kept like nagging TL for it. And it's like I don't think that's an opening community for orgs to see like, oh, we gave an effort and then they just didn't care and hated us anyway. But I think there's like a level, I guess, to it. Like you should have nagged them till they did it and then be like, oh, at least you did it, rather than like keep hating.
Yeah, because on one end you're like you want.
Community. Right, that's Twitter. They're just gonna get hate for everything.
Yeah.
That is Twitter. I like on one side that you have, like Team Liquid probably should put at least some effort, and definitely should probably acknowledge during regional, because that's the like bare minimum you should probably do. But on the other hand, like, you kind of being a little bit spoiled if you want every organization to like spend like lots of money on like promoting that your esport, right?
Yeah.
It's not very welcoming to other esport organizations to come into Rocket League, and you don't want to show that your community is like toxic, or else they won't really want to join your community, especially if it's like a smaller community like Rocket
Especially
League.
when it's a smaller community and it's not like one where you feel like you have to be in if you want to be like a big org within the esports scene.
Yeah.
Like Dota, League of Legends, or CSGO can get away with like toxicity just because they're so big, but I don't think Rocket League's quite at that size yet where we could get away with having an overly toxic fan base and expect like orgs to be okay with it.
Yeah.
See CSGO and League of Legends.
I mean, CSGO is known for being, I think, very toxic.
They have
in
a
the
very
esports
toxic
scene,
community.
But it's just
All you need to do is go on Reddit.
yeah, especially Brazil within the CSGO scene, but it doesn't matter because they're
Oh,
so
yeah.
big. And actually, that's one thing quickly just want to talk about. I don't know if you guys saw that, but everyone was harping. If you guys remember Worlds on the North American fan base, right? Do you guys remember that? Because what was it? We just didn't cheer, right? We stayed in the seats.
Some people left.
But we didn't.
Really?
Well, some people left after the game was done. They didn't stay for like the ceremony, but they stayed till the game was over at least in NA. And like we didn't cheer for Europe, right? Oh, shame on us. But in Brazil, they just didn't show up at all when a Brazilian team wasn't there. Like I don't know why people get this NA crowds are bad. Like, sure, whatever, but like we're not the worst by far. At least we're showing up, like, and watching the full matches through and through before we leave. Brazil just doesn't even show up if it's not Brazil team. So
yeah,
that's
people
a little extreme.
On NA.
Yeah,
especially EU.
And Brazil sure as heck was not cheering on if the team wasn't Brazil. I can tell you that they weren't cheering for Simple on Navi if like when they played Furia, but. That's just how sports fan base goes. I still can't believe the RL community got so hung up on NA for that.
I think that's just EU players being, and EU.
The EU fan base trying to hate on NA for no reason.
Even when they win, they're like, okay.
And I think they don't watch any other esport.
They don't. They don't watch any other sport.
Not even sport. They just watch Rocket League, and they think that's
pure RL.
That's the world. They're the frog at the bottom of the well. They're like, oh yeah, that's the world.
Yeah.
But did you have one more tweet for us, Sam?
Oh yeah, I got two quick ones. So this one's also by Achilles, which I will preface this by saying he's 23, and he says, "Talking to a girl I really like, and I think she likes me back. Is stomach butterflies normal? This is the first time."
I don't think we should like try to like bully him for this.
No, it's fine.
But like it is.
This is just a reaction to a cringe tweet. Okay, he has 5,000 followers. I think it's more than fair to comment on his tweet.
You know what? I'm glad he has a girl and he's learning about his. I don't maybe not say first love, but first like in life. That's great for him. Personally, I just wouldn't tweet it publicly, but good for him. That's all.
It's me. You just probably shouldn't tweet publicly.
Yeah, that's really it.
Especially when you're the founder of shit.
Especially when you're like
a public figure within a community.
Public figure with a good reputation, and you're tweeting this.
This doesn't tarnish reputation. It's just like I don't know. It's just not something I would do if I had a public figure within a scene.
Well, I think it's beyond cringe.
Oh, it's cringe, but I'm happy for him as a person, but it's cringe to tweet it.
Okay, final one's a little related, so this one's by Post Cheetah. He says, "Is it wrong to be 21 and have zero desire to start a family?"
No, it's not wrong.
It's not wrong. Not wrong at all.
Anybody thinks they're wrong.
No.
Like, do these 20-year-olds never get out of high school? Like,
no, that's a cultural thing, because like.
Ohio
there's just places. Ohio, the meme. It's people in Ohio. I mean, it is like Ohio's not, but like southern states generally have. There's places where they have children and marry much quicker than like. It's really just a culture thing, and like he's probably just in like a culture where maybe it's like everyone around him's getting married and having kids at 21, like in his like real life, and then like obviously, we already know the Rocket League community is much more like liberal or the word I don't know like conservative.
21. That's when people graduate from college. You know.
Yeah, their own
I
community
think
is much
I don't
more
know
like
if they're
reserved. So
I don't know if they're liberal. I think the Rocket League community is actually they are liberal as in like left, but
Yeah.
like I think a lot of the community comes from like the Midwest of like the U.S. where like
yeah,
there's not a lot like of
so
diverse
it's more
culture.
common to get married like 27, 28, and then have kids
Yeah.
like late 20s, early 30s, more than like early 20s.
It's a lot more traditional American. Like we watch Fox or CNN. I don't know.
And to my knowledge, Europe's the same too in RL. Where like I think most of the European culture there are probably not having kids like mid 20s or like late 20s. They're not having kids like early 20s.
I
My
mean,
guess
it's the
would be.
that varies
21st
country
century.
by
We have
country.
a huge
Yeah.
cultural shift that it's okay to not have kids or start a family.
I mean, a lot of people in NA now, at least in my like own social like life, are just saying they'll never have kids. It's like a very common trend now. Is like
Yeah,
everyone's
it's
trending
fine
towards
with
never
me.
having kids. The question isn't like if you're gonna have to to 21. It's are you ever gonna have kids at all? And then if you are, it's gonna be like late 20s, early 30s. But it's just
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff to unwrap there as to why, but we don't need to go into that because we're Rocket League.
it's not. Yeah, it's not. It's on one of these tweets. It's not, it's a Rocket League podcast. It's not
These are
a.
cringe tweets from
It's
Rocket League.
not a social
members.
community podcast about North American culture. I mean, I guess it is
There you
cringe of the RL scene.
It
The
is so
fact that
cringe.
we're tweeting about weird stuff
Why are we tweeting
But-
this? Like, this
because
is
there's no
don't know what the
content,
meaning
man.
behind it
Science
is.
needs to give us content to tweet about. There's no content.
Are they in need of impressions?
We're
mean,
not
they have
gonna-
pretty big
Seek up.
impressions.
What are we going to tweet about? The audio file they fixed from the patch, or
They fixed an audio file.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like that's what the patch notes would be, right? Like, what can they really put in patch notes? Oh, we fixed that pixel that was missing on a map, or like, oh, we fixed
What do you guys think of the FC Cup?
the FC
The,
Cup.
event going on right now. Yeah. Like
But
the
I haven't
Nike
seen it
FC
at
Cup.
all. Like the
Have you
what
played
is
it all?
it? No,
I actually reinstalled the game just because of it.
I saw the
Um,
decals a little bit, but that's about it.
Yeah, so you do like all these events. Like you play pretty much different game modes, and then you get like these cool Nike decal bundles.
Yeah.
Which is really sick. Like some of them are really cool. Like the France one is sick. I think the New Zealand one's pretty nice. Like, almost honestly, all of like the Nike ones are really nice, and then the ones that like aren't Nike like crap.
Yeah.
I wonder why. But like it's really cool. Like the decals are sick. I don't know if they're only for Octane though. It might be only for Octane. But like, I don't know. They're really cool. Like there's a Polish one. You can rep like Poland. You're from Poland. You
It's
can
probably
rep
only
like
for Octane.
Canada. Yeah. So I like to see more stuff of that, but I would like to see events that are a little bit more integrated in the game. I think they have like a fan clash for this as well. So like, if you're repping like the Canadian flag as a banner, because it's like they're doing this because of FIFA, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Oh, it's because of the FIFA World Cup, right? That's happening
Yeah, because
like
it's just
now
starting
or
like
soon.
today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think first game was today. Like they're doing it online, like it's a fan clash, so you can kind of see like where's the standings online. But I think that's only like how many games you play or hours you play with that banner on. Whereas like it'd be way cooler if they did like, I don't know, like an event with like an actual like maybe World Cup, like an Intel, like the Intel
Yeah.
World Cup, have something like that, or just be like how many games like you win in ranked with your flag or something. Like that'd be cool.
Yeah, they could do. They could get
Have, like,
more
actually
creative
in the
with
game,
it,
so
or
to
they could
speak.
do like something with the tournaments for like country versus
Yeah.
country or something.
I think they could literally do anything. I
I
mean,
guess
you can
country
see
versus country would be
during
hard,
even
'cause-
for that Fortnite Rocket League collaboration, all you get on the Rocket League site is if you do a bunch of challenges, you'll get like a decal and a banner or so.
I thought you could get a car. I thought there was a car you could get.
There was?
Yeah,
For
I think
what?
there was a car where like you could do challenges in Fortnite, and then it gives you a car in the Rocket
Oh
League
yeah,
game.
yeah. Yeah,
There was
you
a
gotta
car,
go in
right?
the Rocket League,
Yeah.
Okay, I guess that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess it's just I think it was a breakout hitbox though, so like nobody uses that hitbox, so it's kind of pointless. But
We could talk about the hitboxes at a different time. But
I think we already
Yeah.
did almost.
we already did. We can do it again
Yeah.
until they do something.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't care about hitboxes that much. I only use the Octane. Pathetic.
It's the Octane supremacy
that's
meta,
exactly
man.
the problem.
Octane supremacy meta. That's all you need to know. It's
Yep.
been that way since the inception of the game, and it'll be that way till it dies.
God bless.
God bless the Octane. / Fennec.
Okay, I think that's it for Cringe Streets, right?
Yeah,
Yep,
that's
that
all
about
we
wraps it up
got.
for
That wraps it
tweets.
up for episode 4. A little bit of a shorter episode, but it was good. So thank you for watching, everyone, and have a good day. Appreciate.